We're on an unsustainable path, and we've got to get off of it. It's not a partisan matter. It's a matter that we've got to face reality. We still have members of the Senate in denial, and we have the majority leader down here complaining that he might not get money for his cowboy poetry festival in Nevada. Give me a break. This country is heading in the path of great danger, and we need to turn around. Just imagine, if you would, the fate of a CEO if in the process of asking for shareholders to buy company stock, he declared, quote, "We are not adding to our debt," close quote, while his accountants were telling him that the company's debt was on a path to double as our debt is. The president even nominated a budget director, Heather Higginbottom, who has no budget experience, deputy director, who attempted to defend these claims before the Budget Committee last week. I don't know. Maybe they couldn't find anybody that would take the job with experience. The best I can tell, she's never had a single business course or an economics course, never managed any kind of organization or budget, ever. Majored, I think, in political science and campaigned for President Obama and Senator John Kerry. We need some seriousness here. The majority leader, my good friend, Senator Reid, which is a tough job, I got to tell you. It's a tough job. But now he's saying that the problem is there's a division within the Republican Party. You see, you've got these extremists over here, new Republicans that got elected last election, promising to do something about spending, and they're out of touch, you see. They're extremists, and there's some good Republicans over here that they've been here a long time, and, you know, we know how to get along and cut deals, and we're going to take care of this thing, and you just got to keep these people under control. But I might remind the leader that every single Republican either voted for the $61 billion in cuts or called for more cuts. There's no division in the Republican Party about the need to have reasonable and significant reductions in expenditures. There's an essentially unanimous Republican agreement we ought to cut $61 billion or more from this year's discretionary budget. By contrast, the majority leader lost nearly 1/5 of his caucus on his proposal, which was basically to do nothing. Cut $4 billion, I think, reduce spending by $4 billion. 10 members or more defected. They knew that wasn't enough, even under pressure from the president and from the majority leader. And I know people are talking and they're working out. They say they're going to try to reach a compromise so we don't have to shut the government down, and I certainly hope that's true. But I do not believe that we need any tax and spend compromise. And I will not support that. And I don't think the American people will support it either. They know we spend too much. They know we've ramped up spending $800 billion with a stimulus package, that discretionary spending has gone up 24% in 2 years, and they know we can reduce federal spending without this country sinking into the ocean. And that's what they expect us to do. That's what governors are doing, mayors are doing, county commissioners are doing, all over my state, all over America. We got to recognize that Washington is spending too much, not taxing too little. How can we ask Americans to pay more in taxes when Washington is not even willing to cut $61 billion from our bloated bureaucracy? So I have a proposition from my colleagues who wish to raise taxes. Before we consider asking the American people to pay another cent in taxes, why don't we first drain every cent of waste from the federal bureaucracy? We will never truly dig ourselves out of this crisis and put this nation on a real path to prosperity unless we bring our spending under control. America's strength is not measured by the size of our government, but the scope of our freedoms and the vigor and vitality of the American people and their willingness to invest and work hard for the future. That's what makes us strong. Endless spending, taxing, and borrowing is a certain path to decline. And we're on that path today, and we must get off it. American leaders, those of us in this Congress, have no higher duty, no greater moral responsibility than to take all appropriate steps to protect the good people we serve from the clear and present danger we face.